Let's have Dr. Girish now. He's going to talk about how Sankar Nethralaya is shaped in as one of the premier institute of this country. And that represents like anybody who tells that I'm a Sankar Nethralaya alumni, you can imagine that how well trained that person would be in all aspects. So let's hear Dr. Girish now.
Good afternoon, friends, and my sincere thanks to the ARC for this invite. Now, when I talk about leadership mantras that shaped Shankar Nethralaya, I think this actually is a homage to the late Dr. S.S. Badrinath, the guru of so many of us, mine too. Visionaries like him have built iconic center of excellences across the country with their vision, mission, and philosophy. And when I speak about the leadership mantras of Nethralaya, I'm actually going to speak about leadership skills of Dr. Badrinath. In this 12 minutes, I may not be able to speak about all his leadership skills, but I might use the alphabets in his name to enumerate some of the skills that helped Nethralaya be where it is right now. Way back in the 70s, after his training in the US, he was actually a little disillusioned by the kind of ophthalmology practice that was happening in India at that time, and was contemplating going back to the US. And it was then that the Paramacharya of Kanchi Math actually influenced him to do something for the country and stay back and bring about a change. And that's when he realized that change cannot happen with one person. He needs a team. He needed the support of the society. He needed the support of many other blocks to fall into place to bring about this change, be it the government in the form of the close collaborations with the center through the NPCB, or the state governments, various international organizations which are already doing pioneering work across the country, across the world, and center of excellences in academics. So he collaborated with this. He also found out that sitting in one location, it may be very difficult to reach out to the society at large, and that he needed to network with organizations, NGO organizations like the Lions Club, which was already doing tremendous work in eye care, Rotary, who had made a success of the smallpox campaign across the country. So he used that expertise of these people who are already in the field and tried to spread this community care and ophthalmic care, piggybacking on all these people. So the importance of building relationships were ingrained to him. He also knew that to support the kind of philanthropic work that he was doing, he needed the support of philanthropists. And across the spectrum in the country, be it a renowned musician, a very learned, skilled lawyer, or an astute businessman, he reached out to each and every one. He called himself a professional beggar. He said that he was not ashamed to go with a begging bowl to anyone who could give him some money to set up this institute and take it forward. But also equally important was the story of Miss Lakshmi Bai, who was from a small village called Urukai. She had diabetes, and this is in the late 90s, early 2000, and she was losing vision because of diabetes, but there was no one in her family to take her to a city or a center for treatment. And she started saving money to make that one last trip to Tirupati, so that she thought that I'll see my God for the last time before I lose my complete vision. And it so happened that our teleophthalmology team, which was doing the diabetic screening, reached her village, convinced her to come to Chennai, and we got her here and did a simple laser treatment. And by God's grace, she retained her ambulatory vision. But she was so moved with all this effort that she said that I don't need to go to a temple to see God. I can see God in the work that you're doing, and she gave away that 2,000 rupees so that we could continue the work here. So that was the kind of team building relationships, so that there was a perpetuity in the work that he was doing. It is also said that talent hits the target which no one can hit, but a visionary can hit a target that no one can see. And he was one of those visionaries. As Rohit said, you need to look into the future. You need to anticipate what's going to come much before the others move in. And he was that kind of a visionary. Be it the model of comprehensive ophthalmology, which was for the first time coming into the country in the 70s and 80s, the importance of technology, being the first movers in getting the state-of-art technology, the integration of technology with information technology, and taking this to the rural through teleophthalmology in tie-up with ISRO and so many other organizations. I think these are things which really revolutionized the institute and ophthalmology in general. The importance of research, the basic sciences research, besides the clinical research. All these were ingrained in him, and some of the iconic studies that Shankar Nethralaya has been part of, the glaucoma surgeries, the SN dreams, the diabetic retinopathy, all did come because of his foresight. So for an organization to have a lasting imprint, it should last for generations to come, much beyond the time of its founder. So other thing that was very ingrained in anyone walking into Nethralaya was the importance of devotion. The devotion, single-minded devotion to the cause. So anyone who walked into the Nethralaya to become a part of Nethralaya, be it as an employee, as a student, as a consultant, had to be wedded to the single-minded devotion that Dr. Badrinath had, and that still continues to be the norm. You need to be wedded to the greater cause and work with that single-minded devotion, keeping the patient at the center of everything. And once you are wedded to that devotion, everything else falls into place. Spirituality, everything does have its own place in the society, but it is very important to take all of this along as you grow in the organization. He also realized that for an organization to sustain, it has to be a responsibility of each and every member of the family that's part of any organization. And the responsibility of maintaining this organization for perpetuity is also to go to areas where eye care is really needed. And though Shankar Nethralaya has not really followed a exponential expansion path, we did and we continue to go to areas where there is a genuine need and there is a genuine call from like-minded organizations to spread the eye care. As Rohit had said, it's also very important for a leader to be involved top-down. He shouldn't be just sitting at the pedestal. A leader should know what's happening right at the lowermost level, at class 3, class 4 employee. And Dr. Badrinath had that inculcated in every one of us. So he said that you have to treat everyone at par, whether he is a consultant, a receptionist, or a housekeeping staff, or a security, because each one of them is a brand ambassador for the organization. And that involvement with the organization, taking it as your own family business, having that empathy to the patient, keeping the patient care at the utmost, was very important. And I think that was very important for any organization to have a total involvement in the day-to-day affairs. Cannot just say that I'm a consultant and I'll just come and do my cataracts and go. You need to be invested in each and every step, try and improve the systems, try to move ahead with times. What is also important is to nurture leadership. Not just leadership for your own organizations, but leadership which can go on through this fellowship training programs, through the postgraduate training programs, through optometry programs, and n number of them, because these would go into the society and work as leaders for the future organizations to sustain and flourish. So the importance of nurturing leadership was very, very ingrained in the systems. I think academic institutes far outlive any of the other institutions in the country. So you may have businesses which come and go. You may have hospitals which might, over a period of time, lose its focus. But academics institutions live for centuries, and the importance of academics cannot be overemphasized. And Dr. Badrinath and the subsequent predecessors all found that academics is very important for any organization to sustain, very important to attract talent, to retain talent, and to perpetuate the nature. And as Dr. Titial was saying, Shankarnetha is very proud to have alumni, and I might even quote that 1 in 12 ophthalmologists in India at present have some form of formal training at Shankarnetha and are doing pioneering work, whether it's in their own private practice, in other institutes, or in societies like AIOS and others. Trust is foremost for any organization to sustain. And what is most important is to have the trust of the patient. So if the patient feels that you are doing your best for him, without fleecing him, without compromising on the quality, whether it's a paying patient or a free patient or a subsidized patient. And it takes years to build trust, but it can be lost in the matter of days or months. So it's very important that trust, and Shankarnetha is built on the trust that has been very carefully built, nurtured, and cultivated for decades to come. And again, overall, what's ultimately important is to have that humane touch when you're delivering your best to the patients. And it's not just for the patients. You need to have a humane touch for dealing with your colleagues, with your subordinates, so that they feel that they are part of a family, and that's what sustains an organization for years to come. So Dr. Badrinath invested in people not only for the return that it would give to them, but for the greater benefit it would bring to humanity. So once again, I will thank the AIOS for this opportunity, and in a way, for me to pay an homage to my guru. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Girish Rao, for that very interesting and insightful talk. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure listening.